What's up, everyone? It's Billy or Billy Kayaks, depending on how well you know me. I don't know. I guess both would work. And then I'm here with Michael Grimsley. What's up, dude?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and this is kind of fun because this is the Cincinnati Kayak Fishing Podcast, CKF, and I know it's been in the works for a little while, and here we are. Yeah, man. I gotta ask because I don't know. I feel like we have to do this every time we jump on a new podcast or we start something new and there's a new guest. Is it Michael or Mike?
So almost everybody calls me Grimsley or Grims. There's so many Mikes in the world. It starts in high school. We just all go by our last names. I write it down as Michael, but most people call me Grims or Mike, mostly Grims or Grimsley.
All right. And I wouldn't bring it up except someone I saw on the internet, the Facebook, someone said, "Happy birthday, Mike." And I was like, wait, you go by Mike? Maybe they didn't know you that well. I don't know.
Yeah, it's usually people that are that don't know me very well that say Mike. It usually takes like 4 or 5 mics in a crowd before
Yeah.
I'll even acknowledge it and realize that they might be talking to me. But
Yeah. Well, I'm like I said, Billy, and I'm the third. So my grandpa was Bill, and then my dad was Bill, and there was no way I was going to be Bill or Will or so I was Billy.
all right,
That's how I ended up Billy, and
yeah,
it stuck. Yeah.
yeah, I'm Mike the second, and so I was either Mikey or Little Mike, and not so little anymore.
Yeah. There you go. So is that how you, that's why you're in a PA 14.
Yeah, it's about the only thing that holds my weight.
Yeah. Wait, there's like a rule on that. Like there's like a fat joke rule. Like you can make fun of your weight, but I can't. So
Right.
you'll beat me up.
I'm a very self-deprecating humor a lot of times. So I love I can take jokes at my expense. I enjoy them as much as anybody else.
All right. Well, I love that we're doing this. Obviously today we have a schedule that we're gonna try to stay on. I think you and I both have a issue where we kind of go off the rails. So we'll we'll see how it works out. But so far, what we're gonna do is we'll talk a little bit about us, just so everyone gets to know us a little bit more. But then we want to talk about the snowball tournament that's coming up December 2nd, Saturday, December 2nd. And then we're going to talk about memberships a little bit. And then we have a giveaway. We have a prize that we're going to give away if we can get people to follow the instructions, follow our directions. That's it. And then other than that, it's going to be some shenanigans. And hopefully you guys enjoy this, not just episode 1, but the plan is to do this through the entire season for CKF and sprinkle some special episodes throughout the way. But if you came here to learn how to fish, you're on the wrong podcast. So we want, and I think this is a good time, and you can cut me off anytime you want, Grimsley. I think we just want people to fish. I just want people to get a kayak. I don't care if it's the entry level. I don't care if what the deal is. I want people to grab a rod, some soft plastics, if that's your deal, get out there and just fish, right?
I'm right there with you. I enjoy seeing, like, I get so happy when I'm driving down the road and I see a kayak on a car, whether it's a Pelican or anything. I just get so excited and I love seeing people on the water, and I'm like a puppy, in the dog park, just running over and trying to talk to everybody and seeing who they are and what they do. It's a fun sport, and I think the Cincinnati kayak fishing is perfect for that. That's kind of we have some good ambassadors, and the stewardship of everything is good and friendly. It's got healthy competition. We're all trying to win, but no one's going to step on someone to do it.
Yeah,
And I think that's perfect for new anglers.
I agree. And we share that, driving down the road kind of story, except for me, I change lanes immediately when I see the Pelican or any entry level, because I'm like, I don't know, do they know how to strap it down? so so if you
I have
want
seen
to,
some sketchy stuff.
that's right. Go online. Girl Gone Fishing. She's done some videos on the right way. She car tops, and some others do. And I did it for Oh my gosh. I guess almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I bought my truck. But before that, I car topped. And yeah, it's a good way to go, but be safe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So um I said we were going to kind of introduce ourselves. We can save some of the longer introduction of me for another time, but man, I want to kind of jump in and talk about you for a minute and just kind of get your story on like how'd you get into kayak fishing? How'd you get into fishing? And then how did it transition into kayak fishing? Kind of take me way back.
Okay, so I grew up in Toledo, and my dad is to to to, to say that he's an avid walleye fisherman is an understatement. He's retired now. He's out on that lake 4 days a week. We have a 27-foot sport craft. Him and his buddies go out. He's friends with all the charters. He's the first guy on the lake. We were known we're known for the guys that go out when no one else will. Um, so I grew up there, and my only real bass fishing was off the docks in the marina, and it was you don't go on the docks with the boats attached to them, and you're kind of flipping around there, and it was kind of cool. And but it was my dad was a walleye guy. We didn't go for a fun weekend bass fishing. We were on the lake all the time, so I always would be out on the boat, and I'm like, man, if I could only get over there, I could probably catch a good fish. Or if I always wanted to be where I couldn't get. So kind of started bass fishing with my brother a little bit, my cousin Travis, who is one of my best kayak fishing partners now. But as I grew up, my wife and I, we had a lake house and we'd fish off the pontoon boat. And this is Michigan. And I thought I was super good at fishing. Michigan is so easy to catch fish, not necessarily big fish, but like there's so many lakes and there's no pressure on them like what we experience down here. So I was catching fish all the time there. And then I ended up in Cincinnati in early 2000, and I'm looking at these lakes going, I can't even see 2 feet down. I don't know what's down there. There's only so much shoreline at some of these lakes and rivers. I didn't have access to all the rivers. So it was always like this frustrating feeling. It was like a restless feeling fishing. I missed fishing, but it wasn't very, to me, very welcoming down here. And then the you could probably remember it must have been like 2015 where you started seeing plastic sit-in kayaks at Menards and Walmart and things like that. That kind of, or at least that's when I first started noticing. But so I bought my son and I three of the plastic little sit-ins from Menards, came with a paddle. I think they were $240 a piece. I'm like, okay, we can get on the river now. And there's smallmouth in the river, love that. And the rivers, you kind of know where the fish are. Like there's a boulder there, there's probably a fish by, a little current line, whatever. Well, we all know most of us have had the experience of sitting in those kayaks and going, okay, I can't sit in this thing for more than 3 hours without, my leg locking up or something. So I didn't know anything like Strictly Sail or Loveland Canoe and Kayak or any of those other places existed. I didn't know there were people who fished out of kayaks. I thought I discovered fire. I'm like, oh, this is a great hack. I'm just going to be able to go wherever I want in all these little ponds. And as I grew with my kayaks, I started meeting other people that were doing it. I mean, I didn't have any friends in Cincinnati that were as avid as an angler as I was. So I got into it. I signed up for 3 tournaments before I ever kind of went. I was always making excuses to myself. Oh no, it's too cold or too windy, and I just wasn't comfortable in my kayak, even though I had a pedal kayak. And then I went back to Strictly Sail after one of the radius tournaments, and I started talking to some guys, and I was like, man, these are my people. you know, they like what doing I do, and they're passionate about it, and these are fun, and I could see. And then about five five Hobie kayaks later, this is my main hobby, my passion.
Wow, five. So what was the first Hobie that you bought?
So I was in a another pedal kayak, and it was more of the the typical propeller and cyclical movement, and I just had problems with it. And after that radius tournament, the two of the streets, the seat straps broke. So I was kind of laying back, almost prone, trying to pedal back on Rocky Fork and wind. And I got back to the meetup and I told Brian, I was like, sell me a pro angler, and I got that. So that would have been 2019, May of 2019. I bought my first PA 14 180.
Okay.
And
And
then
yeah, I was
and
trying to.
then a month and a half later, they announced the 360 was coming out. So I had one of those by November.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but that was only your second.
That was my second. So my cousin Travis, who I mentioned earlier, picked up my old 180, and then we were off to the race. We were going, up. He lives up in Michigan, Western Michigan. We would go up and do trips there in our paddle kayaks. And then when I had a pedal kayak, it's kind of like, all right, come on, come on. Well, now he's got a pedal kayak and I have a pedal kayak. We're gonna rule the world. So I had my original PA 14 360. I had it for 3 years, and Brian's like, "Hey, you ready for a new pro angler yet?" And I'm like, I guess it is about that time. So my cousin bought my previous 360, and now I have a new 360. And in the middle of that, I picked up a iTrek 11 and a Outback. So I kind of have
Okay.
everything I want now. I've got the iTrek I can go carry and throw in the back of my truck and throw in a river, weighs under 50 pounds. And then I have my PA, which typically only goes in if there's a ramp and I can slide it off the back of the trailer.
Dude, that's awesome. So you said five, but you still have three of them.
I have three, yes.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, I do have a little bit of a not a plot twist, but I do have Tourney X pulled up with your stats.
Oh,
But before that, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. And we're back. So we do that wasn't a commercial, man. I had to pee. So we have, but if it was a commercial, it would have been amped outdoors, batteries. Man, you talked about the pedal kayak and the paddle kayak, and who knew in 2019 or 2020, I bought mine in 2020 as well. I waited until the 360 came out. I'm just kidding. I came on the scene right when it came out, so I got lucky. But
oh,
who
really?
knew we would have motors eventually. And if you're listening to this and you're just getting into it, no, you do not need a motor. You can actually win a tournament. You can kick all of our butts as we fire up our motor and we try to motor to the next hot spot. And you stayed in the thick stuff, and then you caught the fish because they were up shallow that day. But Amped Outdoors, everyone eventually needs a good lithium battery. And one of the biggest things about lithium batteries now, no matter what brand you go for, obviously we would at CKF prefer you go with Amped Outdoors because they're one of our sponsors. But one of the biggest things about those, the newer lithium batteries is they have those chips in them where they
Mm-hmm.
limit, they can't get too hot. If you plug it in, you leave it charging, you don't have to worry about, burning down your garage or you're starting your house. And then if you're on the kayak, you don't have to worry about when it runs too low. Does anything they have those computer chips in them. So
Right.
anyone that asks me the biggest difference between, hey, can't I just go on, DHgate or wish.com and buy a lithium battery? Well, you can.
Oh,
Don't drop it. Don't leave it
yeah.
plugged in. Like it's
Don't leave it plugged in your house. Don't, keep that
yeah.
thing outside.
Yeah, it's
The
dangerous.
battery management system in those batteries is something else. And I've used a lot of amped uh, outdoors, the 30 amp hour especially, and it's crazy how small and light that is, and how long it will run a 9-inch graph days on those. So the
Yeah.
amped ones have always been good to me.
Yeah. And another good time for me to say, like, even though we have sponsors on the podcast, like now going forward, the Cincinnati Kayak Fishing podcast, sponsored by Strictly Sail, we're not going to just push sponsors or talk about things that we don't believe in. So if we're telling you guys about a product, we believe in them. So more to come on more sponsors this year. And if you're listening to this and you're not a sponsor, and you want to be, um, look us up. We have an email, Cincinnati Kayak Fishing. It's actually Cincy. Hey, it's Billy, interrupting Billy. So if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, the correct email is Cincinnati Kayak Fishing at gmail.com. So Cincinnati Kayak Fishing at gmail.com. I said the wrong email. Okay. Now back to our regularly scheduled podcast. Do you know how many tournaments you fished? If you had to guess. Well, not tournaments you fished. That's not fair. Tourney X. Because I know they're
Tourney X, I would say a vast majority of my tournaments have been on Tourney X. I would say, including the monthlies and everything, back when those were my really the only thing I did, I'd say maybe 40.
300. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. 75.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
That
70.
surprises me.
Yeah, 75 tournaments, 250 fish, 15.39 inches average, which I might add, that's higher than mine, by the way. And I have more tournaments than you, but your average is higher. CKF 8-inch limit. So if you're in a tournament and you catch an 8-inch
Right.
fish, you're not going to throw it back to pad your stats. You're trying to win the tournament.
No, no.
Yeah.
I had a tournament last year where my only fish was a 9.75 and it killed me but it saved me from the skunk. So
Yeah, exactly. And then the cool thing is when it comes to like top 10 and then it goes, first, second, and third. So you've had 31 top 10 finishes out of 75, which is wow, really good. And then
well, some of those only had 12 people. So
I mean, you yeah, and they were free to sign up. No.
right.
Yeah. 2 third place, 1 second place, and 4 times you've brought home the big trophy. So congratulations. Out of the 4, what was your favorite?
My favorite one is because it kind of went full circle. I was talking about fishing in the marina, my dad's marina, when I was a kid. So we would always go out as we're going out to the main lake. I would look at this little safe harbor we had. And I'm like, man, I wish Dad, can we go over there and look at that? Like, let me cast a couple times. And he's like, oh, we gotta go be the first person on the lake, whatever. So the MLF style tournament, our second one. The first year I did East West Harbor, did pretty well in that one. But I think it was 2 years ago because Sean killed it last year. I fished that little wall that I always wanted to fish as a kid, and I went out there and I think I submitted 26 fish, but I caught over 30 that I could have submitted, and I probably caught maybe 75 fish total that day. A lot of undersized, sheephead, bowfin, pike, but it was a one of those days that you kind of dream about having, and they weren't big fish. I think I had one 17-inch fish, but it was just one after another. It was a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah, that's what. And that is it. You said East West Harbor. What do you prefer, East or West?
So I've been to both of those with I think East is the one that I'm probably most familiar with and have done the best. I pre-fished West one time and I wasn't nearly as versed in bass fishing then as I am now. So
Yeah.
I do like fishing around that, docks and boats and things like that. But the West Harbor grass was what I did well on when I was there.
Okay. And then true story. I've never caught a bowfin, so and I want to.
As much as I have fished my entire life, I just caught my first one 2 years ago in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Like it's and as many walleyes I've caught on Lake Erie, all these fishers we have that have saw guy, I never catch them. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what I do, but I go out on Lake Erie and cast and catch them out in the middle of the lake. But some of these like Rocky Fork that have a lot of those, Indian Lake, things like that, I can't catch them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and there's a I don't want to say new anymore because they're not new, but the Toledo kayak fishing trail.
Yeah,
Forget the acronym for it, but
TAKAL. I think it's Toledo Area Kayak Angler
oh
League.
yeah, kind of looks like tackle. kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I actually
Yeah.
just went in today and they just released their schedule. So I just put it in my phone. I'm hoping up to make it up there
Yeah.
for a few events in my old stomping grounds.
Well, well, they have a tournament on Nettle. I think I'm saying it right. And I think that is known for bowfin. It's like probably west of Toledo, which is hard to do. It's hard to go west of Toledo and still be in Ohio. But
Right.
but Nettle, I think it's Nettle Lake. I saw that on their schedule, so I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Yeah,
There's some really cool lakes up there, and I would like to go up there and mess around. They have, I think, two or three tournaments on East West Harbor this year too,
yeah, they do. And
in
then
their new schedule.
yeah, and Mitchell Roth and Michael Becker running that. So they've fished some of the Ohio trails in the past. So looking forward to what that's all about. But today, the biggest thing we're here to talk about, I think, is I said I think because I have some notes of random stuff I want to ask you. Um, the snowball tournament. So CJ Brown, speaking of off species, CJ Brown, there's a lot of muskie in that lake. Spoiler alert, if you want to go muskie fishing. I don't know why I said spoiler alert. It's not really a spoiler alert. Go muskie fishing at CJ Brown. 2,120 acres, 10 miles of shoreline, and CJ Brown. It's fished it 3 or 4 times maybe, and there's bass in there. That's what Skidmore said. Skidmore finds the bass in there.
Well, he would know of anybody. He
Yeah,
probably knows them all by name.
yeah. Reese Stoughton caught during a tournament 2 years ago, something like that. He caught a 21-inch smallmouth
Oh my goodness.
in CJ
I
Brown.
can't even catch a 20. I've never caught a 20.
No, no, and we talked about that earlier. So that'd be fun to do a whole podcast on random random fishing stats. That how is that even true? So
I,
yeah,
it's beyond me. It's heartbreaking. My one of my best friends, Chris, he caught a 21 last year, and I'm like, oh, just
yeah.
give me one.
Well, I did see that you during the Michigan Ohio tournament, you did catch a really big smallmouth on St. Clair once.
Yeah, I I mean, it's hard not to catch good sized smallmouth on St. Clair, but I've got a bunch of like 19 and a half, 19 and quarters, 19 and 3/4, but never past that 20-inch threshold.
Yeah,
Hoping to soon,
yeah, probably this year for sure.
hopefully.
So the snowball, like, what are you most looking for? Wait, do you still have the Grinch costume? Are you gonna?
I do have that. It was when I saw the picture that Melissa took of that. Actually, Hobie sent me a message asking if they could use it on the Hobie site, which was cool. But it looked pretty more scary. It looked more scary than it looked like a costume from Wish.
Okay.
But yeah, I do have that. I might try to find something. I don't know. It was just one of those things where it's that time of year. So it's tough fishing. It's fun to get everybody out because the tournament season's over. I just try to have fun and go around and just be goofy and you know have some conversations on the water and make people laugh because I historically have not done well in the snowball.
Well, I don't think you're alone. I didn't pull up the stats from it, but
Please don't.
yeah. Okay. I know I was supposed to go out this past weekend. I think I told you I was going out and I didn't make it.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go muskie fishing, were you?
I was supposed to. I made a I made a video from a couple of trips ago and I'll probably release that, but I was hoping to update my video with an
Uh,
actual fish because the last time I went, I didn't catch anything. But I think the water temperature, we're recording this on 11/20, and the water temperature was 50, 51 degrees.
yeah, that's
So,
about what I've seen
yeah,
recently.
yeah. And so I don't know a ton about CJ Brown when it comes to bass, because even when I did fish there for bass, like I feel like I wasn't very good, but there's a lot of submerged train train tracks and train bridges. Yeah, it
Right.
seems like it would be worth checking those spots out, right?
So I just fished for the first time on CJ Brown. Melissa, Girl Gone Fishing, and Adrian Warfield were going out there, and they invited me to tag along. So as I put it, they put it in at a little bit different spot than I did. I put it in at the main ramp. And as I was launching away from the ramp after I parked my truck and everything, I hear a drag rip in and like a clicker reel. There's a guy catching a muskie, like reeling it in right as I'm leaving the little ramp area. I'm like, oh, that's a good sign. Um, and I just like the whole time I was trying to catch up with them, I'm looking at my side imaging and like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Like there's ledges, there's ditches, and I made it out to those the train tracks and there's train bridges that go over old canals. It was really cool, and I had the live scope on, and you could just see tons and tons of fish that weren't biting my offerings,
Yeah.
but there's a ton of fish in there. I'm really looking forward to that. I really like using my electronics, especially in the cold water and vertical jig and either a late bait or tail spinner or Ned rig or something. So I think it's going to be a great tournament. I think it's going to be fun. It's big enough that everyone could be spread out, but small enough where you have access to the whole lake if you have pedals or a motor
Yeah,
or both.
definitely. Yeah. And it's fun. You said you launched at the main, but there's like a fishing pier at like the little park. And depending on what kind of kayak you have, you could launch there. Last time I was there, I saw someone with a stand-up paddleboard, someone else in a little paddle kayak. Um, and then also there's, up by the creek, Buck Creek runs into the north side, and there's a parking area up there. Those are the only three that I know about. Obviously, the main boat ramp is like the most convenient. And then I think we should probably mention also this time of year, probably the safest place to launch.
Right.
With the wind and the water temperatures, I have a semi-dry suit. Not everyone does that. Not everyone has precautions, but if you sign up for this and you haven't been out in December to kayak fish, make sure you're with a buddy. It gets cold, I don't Ohio, December. Don't be silly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hopefully we get some mild weather to make it not so bitterly cold. But I mean, kayaking by nature, I mean, there's always a little bit of risk there, I guess.
Yeah.
You're around water, but especially the cold. It's one of those things where I kind of get a little lackadaisical on it, and I have a semi-dry suit as well. And it's like, oh man, it kind of squeezes my neck a little bit, and it's the sleeves kind of tight. But it's the smart thing to do if you have a family, then you don't want to have them worrying about you when you're out there. That and consider wearing a regular life jacket. Your inflatables are not dependable enough, and especially like there, if it's not a real shallow. There's a lot of deeper water where just make sure you're in eyesight of someone, and you're just if you're comfortable. Like I'm comfortable in my kayak, so I don't really worry about it as much, and I should, but I don't. But if just stay within your comfort zone. If you're not comfortable going out, and if it's a little windy, there's plenty of places that you can fish where you can stay comfortable and you can catch some fish.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on. I was going to talk about memberships a little bit, but just because I don't know how long we'll make this episode, I want to move into something that we're going to do, a giveaway. So we are fortunate that our main sponsor of the CKF trail and the CKF podcast or TikTok. Oh, we started TikTok. So go follow that if you don't. I think we have more people signed up for the snowball than we do the TikTok channel. I'll have to work on that. Spoiler alert 4. I gotta stop saying spoiler alert. Nobody cares. So we're gonna do a giveaway. We're giving away a kayak cushion. So no matter how comfortable your vantage seat or your sit-in kayak, no matter what, like I've had long Zoom calls for work, and I've sat on the kayak cushion. This is not a sponsor commercial. for this is a fact. So
It is. I'm
you
with you.
need it if you forget it. I used to only
Oh,
have
it's the
one.
worst.
Yeah, I would switch it between kayaks, and then
Yep.
I forgot, and I was out all day without my kayak cushion. So we're giving away a Strictly Sail kayak cushion, but there's a code word. You have to respond either on YouTube or on some kind of social media. Send us a text. Maybe you're not on social media, that's not your thing, but you stumbled on this. Send either Grimsley or I or respond on social media and reference the Grinch. Like you have the word Grinch has to be in there.
I like
And
it. I like it.
yeah, and you will be the owner. We're going to do a random drawing, and you'll be the owner of a new, I think, what are they? Are they like 60, $70? I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, the Strictly Sale, it's got the new logo on there, like the one that's just over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
They look really, I just picked mine up the other day. So I can kind of, when I get new ones, I put them on my main kayak, and the other ones kind of go down because I was in the iTrek this weekend, and I really wished I had with me.
Yeah. I keep getting thrown off every time you say iTrek. I'm like, man, I think I want to at least try it out, take one out.
You're welcome to grab mine whenever you like. It is one of the most fun kayaks I've ever been in.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And then we did say memberships. So I also want to say there's an early bird special. So thank you to CKF for making that adjustment. There's our early bird special. You can save a little bit of money. I think you save like $5, right?
Yeah, $5.
Yeah, save $5 by signing up. And we'll probably talk about it on a future episode, but there's no need to buy 3 memberships. Just just buy one. However, another adjustment that was made, there is like a gift membership. So you can buy one for you, and then you can buy another one that's a gift membership, and you can actually gift that to someone else. We'll probably talk about that more in the future as well, but at least get your own to save yourself $5. You get a sticker and a t-shirt, and I believe that the t-shirt this year is going to have the schedule on the back. So that's a lot of fun. And who doesn't want a t-shirt?
They're the best
Right here.
t-shirts too.
Yeah.
They're the best. There's probably not too many days that go by if I don't have one of my Strictly Sales t-shirts on for something.
Same.
Well, let me see. What we
I have
got
it on
here?
right now. Yeah. You got one?
Oh, I got, this is the one day I don't have it on.
One day. That's all right. Well, I do want to talk about future episodes and let everyone know what they can expect with the CKF podcast going forward. But I have 2 questions for you. We'll start with the easy one. How do you feel about Christmas cakes? I have a Christmas cake for anyone just listening. Is it Little Debbie? Is it, you got nothing? No?
I,
Oh,
I'm not a sweets guy. I like my savory.
all right.
So if you had a buffalo flavored,
Oh, same. So you like buffalo. So you like, I mean, wings and buffalo wings. Or,
yeah, just wings, meat and
yeah.
vegetables.
Yeah. Meat.
Yeah.
I love there's the thing like Duff's or Anchor Bar, and I like Duff's. So I like my wings. I like flats, extra crispy, and then I like them like floating in the sauce. Uh,
Oh, okay.
and I make my own wings as well. So
Oh,
I'll make
nice.
them to make up to, well, I'll just say over 20 pounds of wings, fried wings at home. Yeah, I do it.
Oh
I'm
my
doing it this
gosh.
Saturday. I'll do it Saturday for the
That's awesome.
Michigan game. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is coming up.
Yep. Love some good wings. So you mentioned, this is not my other question, but I just thought of it. You mentioned Michigan, and then you said, "Oh, it's coming up." Sports fan? Are you a sports fan?
Not so much. We literally were on the lake every weekend when I was a kid, so I didn't really watch, go to games with my dad. We were doing stuff. We had my dad's got a really nice Mustang that he put together, and we take it to car shows, and we do that in the summer, fishing. And then in the winter we were snowmobiling. So I didn't watch a lot of sports. I did get into hockey a little bit. So I kind of follow that. I enjoy watching games with my friends, but I I'm not, my
Yeah.
day isn't ruined if my team doesn't win. Just
Yeah.
go
Well,
fishing.
that makes one of us on this call.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Especially you Columbus guys. It's a little bit
Yeah, that's true. The other thing I want, okay, we'll just do this. So future calls, we have a couple things. I would love to go over the snowball results. And then maybe even on that same episode or in a future episode, we're gonna talk about the 2024 schedule, break down the lakes, and then Grimsley and I we've talked about a little bit on this episode where we're not, we want people to come out, we want people to fish, kind of like talking about the submerged train bridges, and we're talking about the current water temperatures. We're not trying to keep any secrets, man. We want you to go out there and catch some fish. So let's let's talk about all the lakes. Maybe Grimsley will be on here again, or maybe we find some other sucker to jump on here. And
somebody can catch fish.
well, we need at least one.
All
So
right.
yeah. All right. So that's what you have to look forward to. Don't forget, you remember the code word or the code word for the
The
giveaway?
Grinch.
The Grinch. You got to mention the Grinch. I guess we would even accept like any quotes from the Grinch.
Oh
We
yeah, that'd actually be funnier.
ooh, maybe you get two. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm making it
Yeah.
too hard. I'm adding work to our thing.
Right.
Um, all right, so we'll wrap it up. Before I thank you and give you the opportunity for any last words, I do want to mention one more thing that I saw on Facebook. One of my favorite comedians ever, Nate Bargatze. I saw that you're going to see him. That's
Yeah, yeah.
fun.
I'm going with some friends. We're looking forward to that one. I enjoy him. I like going out and watching a good comedian.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a dirty comic, a blue comic is that what they call them? Nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
Blue. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm all about it. I don't care. But Nate Bargatze, he is clean,
Yeah.
family guy, and he has a way of. He's just funny. He's funny.
He's got that dry, like he's just telling a story, and it just he'll have you in tears.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorites would be the when he's talking about the Sixth Sense. Spoiler alert. This is his joke, not mine. Spoiler alert. The guy's dead in the whole movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, it was 20 years ago. So I don't know.
Right.
But and then the punchline, because I'm not going to try to tell the joke. The punchline it was more believable that his wife didn't talk to him for a whole year than that he might be dead. And then he, in an innate way that only he could do, he made a joke around that. It was so good. So enjoy. When is that?
I believe it's in January sometime, like
Oh,
like first second week of January. I don't make social plans. I ask them how much do I owe you and when we got to be there. So
yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good strategy. I like that. Well, enjoy that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I can't thank you enough for jumping on here. I know first episodes can be a little bumpy with getting it rocking and rolling, but this worked out. I think this was great, and thank you so much for coming on here. And I look
oh,
forward
you're welcome.
to
Thank you for having
yeah,
me. It was a good time. Anytime I get to talk about kayak fishing, I'm happy. So
yeah. And I promise we may talk about fishing more in the future. I'm not sure. Anyone you want to give a shout out to? Anyone you want to thank?
uh I guess I hadn't thought about it, but I just like to thank everybody that fishes the CKF events. I enjoy seeing everybody out there and talking to them and sharing stories with it. Thanks for everybody that helps with CKF. Uh, Strictly Sail kind of is the mothership, and CKF is ran by Brian, but a lot of help from guys like you and other people that are either on the team or not on the team. But we have a bunch of great people who want, like you and I are talking about, we want people to catch fish. So I just really like our vibe, for lack of a better word, that we have, and I hope more people come and join us and can fish with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, well said. And there was a survey that was sent out last year, and I know a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but there are some changes. So we do, I don't want to say we, because it's the committee and the people that run it behind the scenes, but um, if you did the survey, if you spoke up throughout the year, your voice was heard. So there are some rule changes, modifications to make it more conducive to a smaller trail and people that are just starting out. Hey, maybe we do a future episode too on like just rules and stuff, how to measure a fish,
Sure.
all that. Um, and then yeah, so your voice was heard. So a lot of those changes were made, and that's going to be pretty cool. The rules and all the details will definitely come out, over the off season, and so keep your eye out for that and sign up. Hey, don't be the person that signs up at the last minute,
Yeah,
right?
that makes it tough. I mean, if you think about it, people keep an eye on like who, like, all right, there's only 4 people signed up, and it's like a big landslide right at the end. Well, if people don't think other people are going to show up, they may not sign up. So the sooner you get in there, the more interest is going to be built up with that. And it's a lot of fun. If you see me on the water, you can come watch my graph with me and we could live scope together. So it is not, if you're intimidated as I was when I first got in this, because I didn't know anybody, I didn't know like what to do. Come talk to any of us. Anybody that you see commenting on the CKF Facebook page, ask questions. If you want to go out and go fishing, I'll take it. We can meet somewhere and go fishing. If you want to work on something with electronics, if you want to work on a technique, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy being helpful. I enjoy learning from other people on what they're doing. So, um, just just know that when you're going to go there, if you need help, you know, loading your kayak into the water or anything like that, we're all here to help.
Yeah. Well said. Well, I love the way you said that. So I don't want to ruin what you said by adding anything else. So I'll just say thank you everyone for listening, and make sure you follow the podcast. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, because you probably don't. This is all kind of new ish. So podcast, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you enjoy shenanigans, definitely TikTok. So I'm just gonna spoiler alert. I mean that's my new catch. Not gonna be my new catchphrase. I need to stop saying that. Follow TikTok, and all the other things, but definitely this podcast. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Grimsley. Can't wait to see you out there on December 2nd. See you there, man.
All right. Thanks, Billy. I really appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.